everyone, welcome to Yoga 2020 in Cape May, New Jersey. We'll get started on our back. You'll need a strap and 2 blocks. So join me, laying on the back. You can bend your knees, have your feet flat. We'll take constructive rest just to begin. So the feet find the edges of the mat, knees drop in. You can have one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. We'll just get right into our practice here. This is a 30-minute class today. It's kind of a nice cool down practice. And just as we lay here, feel the movement of your breath underneath your hands. Like, where's your breath moving? How is it moving? What's the pace? And just feel the flow of your inhales and exhales beneath your hands. But also connect to the breath through your hands, but also but even as like feeling life underneath your hands. The movement and flow of life. And take a moment to welcome yourself to your practice. Giving your space to yourself space to feel, to heal, to move, to breathe, to experience life, experience your yoga practice, whatever that may be today on your mat. Every day is different. And then from here, you can separate the knees, go right into a hamstring stretch with your strap so you can loop it around your foot. And gently pull the leg in toward you. Get grounded in through that left leg. And just take your time to ease your way in the leg toward you. Opening up the back of the leg. And if you feel a lot of tension behind the knee, you can always do a little soft micro bend of the right knee. Kind of generate that stretch in the meaty part of the muscles. So with the calf, or maybe you feel it up in the hamstrings. And then lower the leg out to the right, still with the strap, and keep the left side of the body anchored down, the left leg anchored down, plugged down, and really reach through kind of the inseam of your pant leg on the right, kind of taking out all the wrinkles to really reach and extend through that right foot, and keeping the right foot level too. This is our heel wants to kind of twist up toward the sky, try to level it off. And then bring the leg back up, and then over and across toward your left shoulder. And I like to use my right hand kind of in the crease there at the hip crease to bring the leg up and over. So you get a good outer hip stretch and the IT band, maybe even down the leg further. It can be a doozy of a stretch. So go easy. Go to where you can still stay with your breath and be present in your practice, because if your breath gets too short or quick, then you've probably gone too far into the stretch. So let's switch it up here. Left leg into the big loop then, and the left foot, and then the right leg really extends out and grounds down. And then just take your time as you pull the leg toward you. Find your nice, smooth, deep breaths. Find the movement even into the rib cage. So you're expanding in the rib cage through the entire circumference, bringing in the oxygen, releasing the carbon dioxide, literally bringing in life. And then lowering the leg out to the left. keeping the right hip plugged down this time, even though the right side of the rib cage, even the low back wants to pop off. So really ground down through the side. Extend and reach out through the inseam of the left pant leg, keeping the left foot level here. A really big inner thigh stretch in the adductors. And since your leg has been out here for a while and stretching, really hold on to the strap and help it up to back to center, right? So you won't want to have the muscles contract right after being stretched like that, could injure them. So really use the help of the strap, right? That's where we're using it. Some of you can probably hold it with your hand, but it's nice to use that strap. So we're up and across now toward the right shoulder. And kind of hooking that left hand in the left hip crease, grounding down through the left hip. So there's no spinal twist here at all. Your pelvis is level. It's really getting into that outer IT band. Go ahead and bring the leg back up to center. And then let's take off the loop and place it out to the side. And we'll move into some core work right away. So I'm going to give you guys some choices, to do and let you go and be free here with your core, what you want to do. There's the scissors, I call these, with the twist here, side to side. You can do those. You could do bikes. But something that's using the obliques and twists here. There's one also that the legs go side to side. But for this first core exercise, we're going to work the obliques. So there's 3 choices for you to use. But keep going at your pace. So I'm not counting. I'm just going to time us here to go for about a minute on this oblique work. So of whichever variation you'd like to do, and maybe you want to do 10 of each and switch. So there's options, but keep going. Hopefully you're doing this with me and not just sitting on the couch watching me do this with some popcorn or something, or chips and salsa. But you're here doing the work with me. We're in this together. Keep going. Almost there. Cool. And then go ahead and finish up that last cycle there and take a happy baby. So hold on to the outer edges of your feet. Bring the knees toward the ground, and maybe even just a little sway side to side. A little rock back and forth. And then come to center. And this time we'll do a core one that's just kind of more straight. So this could be a crunch, just straight up and down here. You could even have the legs up and going up and down. So there's no crossing here of the body. It's just up and back. And then of course there's always the option with the block at the thigh and the elbow. So that's also one that's just in one direction here. So choose your core exercise. We'll go for another minute in this one. And I'll let you know if you're using the block when to switch sides. But keep the low back down in any of these variations, right? So you really feel your core working. There might be even some shaking going on there. And that's really important because that's your muscles learning. So you want to get to that point where you really feel it working. Switch if you're using the block. And if you are using the block, really push that elbow into the block, into the thighs, back into the block too. Try to get your upper body up if you're doing the crunches. Keep your neck in neutral. I like to hold my head so my neck isn't doing all the core work. All right, guys, good job. Place the block out to the side if you're using it, and let's go ahead onto our tummy from here and stretch that out. Feels so good after doing the core work to really open up through the abdominal area. So we'll just be in the Sphinx here, up onto the elbows and forearms, and pull yourself through, ground down through the tops of the feet. And then your choice here, if you'd like to do a downward facing dog or a child's pose. So you can shift the hips back toward the heels. Keep the arms outstretched if you're in child's pose. And then we'll all come into downward facing dog. So shifting forward, plant down through the hands, keep the fingers really spread. Tuck the toes under and lift the hips on up. Downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take a pretty generous bend in your knees, like a lot, and then really reach your hips up and back. And from there, drop your heels toward the ground without letting your upper body shift forward. And you really get into the backs of the legs here. Get back into your breath too. Get centered into your breathing. You're grounding through all 4 points of contact into the mat. And then on your next exhale, you'll lower down to your knees. And we'll head into a version of cat-cow, but just with your pelvis. So you're just really tilting the pelvis under here and then reaching it back. So the rest of your spine is really still and quiet. And you're just working at the low back. I know a lot of us have been doing some sitting these days and filming this during quarantine time. So really take your time to feel the movements so you stretch out in through the lower back, but can get kind of locked up in that area. It's hard to isolate that movement. So just do a couple more. And then when you curl under, that's called a posterior tilt. Really draw your navel toward your spine. Hold your core really, really strong. Stay there and reach your right leg back. Lift it on up without sagging in through your low back. So you want to keep that posterior tilt, core activated, right leg lifts. So you feel your glute and core here, and then left arm reaches forward. And then exhale, round, really curl now, and tap left elbow, right knee, and reach it back out. And again, curl round and tap, reach it on out. And then one more. And down. Other side. Reorient, re-engage in through the core, get the pelvis aligned, left leg lifts up, so you're reaching right from the glutes, and then right arm forward. That left leg is reaching back. You don't have to go really high either. Really just want to make sure that you're mindful not to sag in through the low back. Really strong here, and then curl in and tap, and reach. Strong core, tap. Inhale, reach. Exhale, tap. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lower. So you can do one more round of 3 on each side, but I'm going to give you a little option here. It's really fun. If you have your 2 blocks, let's bring the right hand down on a block, the left knee down on a block, and reach that right leg back, left arm forward. And the key is to bring the left toes up. That's right. So that foot could be there if you need it for a kickstand, and you can hold here or add in the curls and rounds and tap. It's a little bit wobbly. It's amazing how different it is with just the addition of the blocks. You're not even that high, but it's so much harder. then we'll go to the other side. Option 2, no blocks. You don't have to use blocks, or you could even just do a long hold reach, reaching out. So left leg up, right arm forward. Have your little mini kickstand down on the right toes are up, and then curl and round. Reach it, and then exhale, and reach. One more. Reach. Woo, good job. Lower on down. Keep those blocks if we're heading into some lunge work. So let's step our right foot forward in between our hands. And your choice here, if you want to have the back knee down to start, or if you want to have it lifted, right? So options here too. You could be in this low lunge here, or if you want to have the knee down. Your call. And then of course your call. I really like a deep hip opener here in the hip flexor stretch. So I typically like to catch my back ankle with the opposite hand. So you could do that, or stay just with the knee down. Always nice to have a pillow or cushion underneath your knee too. And release. And then go ahead and shift back. Heel down, toes up. Hamstring stretch. Deep in the hip crease. Love this one. All you do is have to shift back. So your hips are pretty high still. You're not too far back and bent into it. But the key is to have the foot up here. Toes up. Good, and then let's go ahead and bring that right foot back and switch it up. Switch it up. Bring that left foot forward. Come right into that quad and hip flexor stretch. Back knee down or lifted. Catch the back foot or not. So many options here, because in reality, this is your practice. I have no idea what's going on in that camera. So I hope that you're following your breath, enjoying your flow and experience, and moving and breathing, and just being open to the experience, right? And paying attention to your breath and the messages that you're getting through your breath, listening to your breath. I'm going to go ahead and release that back foot and shift back into the hamstring stretch. Get the toes up again, deepening the hip crease. Blocks are always options here too, if you want to have the blocks on either side of you for the lunges or the hamstring stretch here. And I really try to arch my back. Remember when we were doing the cat-cow here with just the pelvis? Now it's actually the arching part, the anterior tilt. So it's like really want to stick your sitting bones back. Then you really find the hamstring. Hello. Okay, and then shift forward. We'll place the blocks out to the side and step into downward facing dog. Another full deep breath here. And let's do the left foot forward here. Pivot the back foot down. Rise on up. Virabhadrasana 2. So you're bending into the front knee. Nice wide stance. But even in that wide stance, you're hugging the feet toward each other. So you feel your inner thighs working, and there's some buoyancy around your pelvis, so you can release your tailbone down. You're lifted up through your torso and arms parallel to the ground. There's an option here to lift the left heel up for a little more power in the legs, a little more balance. And from here, we'll reach forward and bring the left elbow onto the left thigh. really lightly, and then line that right arm up and over. So this is side angle pose, grounding down through that back foot, really lengthening out through the torso equally. So you're not like in a C shape here. You actually use the upper muscles here at the quadratus lumborum, it's called, and your oblique muscles. So you could almost hover entirely that left elbow off of your thigh, right? So minimal weight, like take a little bit of weight off that elbow. And really keep the legs engaged, strong core to come back up, swivel on your feet, spin on your feet so you have a nice wide stance, and let's take a forward fold. Actually, you know what? Let's do the other side first. So spin on the feet, bend into the right knee, and then arms parallel to the ground. Opening up through that right knee and scooping the tailbone down. Reach powerfully through the arms and making sure that your shoulders are stacked over your hips for this Virabhadrasana 2. Another full deep breath here. And then we really reach out and lengthen through the underside of the torso, the right elbow gently onto the right thigh, and then reach that left arm up and over. So you have all that strength in the upper side, that left side is holding you there, the strength of your legs and obliques here so that you can take some more weight off of that right elbow. Good, one more deep breath here. Super strong pose here. And then come on up. Spin on your feet. Wiggle them in just a little bit and pivot them out on an angle. And we'll come up onto our toes and reaching the arms out to the side like a star. You're up onto your toes, reach strong. And then drop the heels down, bring the elbows down. And I actually like to hold on to the thighs, sit a little bit lower here at a goddess pose so that the knees are heading toward the feet. Get a little bit lower, try to relax in the upper body. And then go ahead, stand on up, straighten the legs, pivot the feet inward now, and take a fold here right at the hip crease, reaching down toward the ankles, forward fold. And then bend into your right knee. Little side lunge. Maybe you want to do a really low lunge here so you can bend all the way into the right knee. Good, come back to center and over to the left. Good, come back to center, and then strong legs, strong core, come all the way up to standing. Bring the feet together. Let's pivot and turn, hands to your heart center, and take a full deep breath here. Nice centering breath. Cool, and we'll head into a tree pose, Vrikshasana. So let's ground down through our right foot. Bring the left leg up and open out to the side. Find the proper spot for where your foot lands, whether it's above or below the knee. And let's do a tricep stretch here, really kind of mix it up. So we'll hold on, clasp onto the right elbow, bending the right elbow, and then reaching the elbow up toward the sky. You're lengthened up through the front side and back body. I'll turn to the side, still stay in your tree. I'll just show you how my hands are behind my back. Just holding steady here, point of focus. And then slowly release, arms down. And let's switch to the other side. So left foot grounds down. Let's bring the right foot up into the tree. I'm gonna place that foot above or below the knee, never on the knee joint. And then hands in prayer. We're heading to the tricep stretch. So we bring the arms up overhead. This time the left elbow bends and hold on to that left elbow. Tailbone down, core is engaged, heart is lifted. And relax the shoulders away from the ears. Find your breath. Find your focus. And then go ahead and release. And straighten your mat if you need to and shake it out. Great. So now let's go ahead and come down into Malasana. So a low squat. Put the feet out wide. Come on down. Elbows to the inner thighs, heart lifted. Hands to prayer. And think of one thing right now in this moment that is true and beautiful. And then from here, come into your hip opener of choice. So if you'd like to do a pigeon or come onto your back for Malasana, totally your choice. Let's bring that left leg forward first if you're doing pigeon. And if you're laying on your back for a figure four or doing fire log or another hip opener, easier way into it, right? These can be very intense poses and very confronting, and be very mindful. Like really take your time to let go, right, in those really tense spots. And the best way to do that is really tune into the rhythm of your breath, right? So just take care here. How is your breath moving? Where is it moving? And then take your time to switch to the other side, making your transition really thoughtful and gentle as you switch around. Set yourself up on this side so that the foot is flexed here. You know, you have some engagement into that ankle. It's like between a dorsiflexion and plantar flexion, somewhere in between, so that your tibia and fibula are lined up, those lower leg bones, right? So we don't want any twisting or any knee pain. If there's any knee pain, your hip's probably really tight and you might want to back out of it a little bit or try a different pose that's more mellow. Pigeon especially is pretty intense, so take care. Take your time to let this side open too, right? Use your breath here to soften. And find the tenderness in the pose. Couple more deep breaths here. And then come on up, kind of lean off to the side if you're in your pigeon either. Maybe you're already on your back, stay on your back. And you lay on down. Keeping the knees bent, the feet flat. Let's lift up into one really nice kind of like harmonizing and balancing bridge pose, right? Just kind of finding both sides, equality into both sides. We've been doing a lot of big poses on either side of the body. So now bringing it all into center. Ground through your feet, tilt the pelvis up, come on up to the backs of the shoulder blades, ground down through the backs of the arms. I like to even press my head into the mat just a little bit, contracting through the back of the neck muscles, get them fired up too. All your 10 toes are on the ground. Strong legs, strong breath. And then slowly descend the hips on down. And if you'd like to do a spinal twist, you can do that here. Spinal twist of choice too. So you can wind the right leg over the left and drop the knees over to the left. And this is a spinal twist, but also so nice and a nice stretching through that pec muscle on the right. And come back to center. Unwind the legs, rewind the legs to the other side, or whatever twist you're doing. Take it to the other side. Reach out through that left arm this time. And bring the legs back up to center. Unwind them. One more bridge pose, right? Let's just do one more little bridge here, or big bridge, whichever one you want. Press through the feet, lift the hips up, ground through the backs of the arms, turn the palms up. That's a nice way to really open up through the heart center. And then just let your spine nestle on down onto the mat, and you can extend your legs out. Keep the feet wide, bring the arms wide off the mat, the palms turned up, and just let your body drop into Shavasana, corpse pose. And I like the whole letting go here completely, to rest in peace. Let go of all the things that don't serve you. And you're taking all the newness from your practice, the new movements and the new breathing. Just all let it drop here, drop into it, to this place of peace and rest. Just come back to your natural breath. And start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Like you're a new baby robin, like waking up into your nest. New life. Coming full cycle, full circle even on your mat. Reaching the arms overhead, take a big stretch. Bending the knees, roll to your right side in the fetal position. And then coming up to a comfortable seat, letting your heart lead you. Back up to seated. And bringing your hands together at your heart. closing your eyes, feeling the effects of your practice, and carrying this feeling with you into the rest of your day, evening. I'm so grateful for you for joining me. Thank you so much. Namaste. See you on the mat soon.